Some of us are outwardly successful, but inwardly feel unhappy and living a life lacking in purpose and meaning. The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer can help you discover what's important to you and how to go for it. For more information or to purchase the book, visit carlgreer.com. That's CARLGREER.com.
Consistently attract soulmate clients. Begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalind Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spots that activate your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Welcome, my loves. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about today's episode about how to bring your business to life through the power of story and elevate your customer service. It's going to be a very unique show because I have a very unique special guest today. So if you are wondering how to elevate and upgrade your customer service and get others raving about your company, this episode is for you. If you're in a hospitality or tourism business and would love to share the incredible stories you bring to life for others, this episode is also for you. And we're going to share with you the power of story and all the fun jams around that. But before we do, if you really do enjoy this episode, please do give it a shout out. You can screenshot the cover and give it a shout out. Tag me on Instagram, Bold Sexy Warrior. And on Facebook, it's Rosalind Fung Coaching, Bold Sexy Warrior. I would super appreciate any reviews on Apple iTunes, as that helps with ratings and gets the show out there more. And I am so excited, my loves. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am about to dive into the 2-day immersive for Flourishing life coaching certification and leadership certification. This is going to be so powerful. So if you're a leader, light worker, healer, coach, and you desire to go deeper with your clients, and you love the science with the woo, this certification is absolutely for you so that you can ditch any sort of imposter syndrome, raise your client results with confidence, and confidently raise your rates with integrity. You'll be taught the 10 different core areas backed by science in neuroscience, psychology, social psychology, developmental psychology, sociology, business, and leadership research on strength-based resiliency. So if you're feeling called, you want to join me, November 27th and 28th, as we're doing this recording, is our next dates. And you can connect with me on Instagram, Bold Sexy Warrior, or on my website under contacts at rosalindfung.com. We have a free framework so that you can make sure this is aligned for you. Happy to get on a chat. So without further ado, let's welcome my very special guest, Suzanne La Voie Sammon, who is a storyteller, content writer, promoter, speaker, editor, enthusiastic traveler, and a seasoned writer. She has a huge zest for life. Suzanne believes that we are our own inner tourism journeys, which allows us to expand and broaden our horizons personally and recreationally. Suzanne really helps us create our inner tourism journeys by showing others the importance of a solid foundation, of support and the right team and tools. She works with clients who would love a story about their hospitality and tourism businesses, and clients who are looking to elevate and upgrade their customer service. Her level of expertise derives from a professional journey of over 30 years of customer service related positions. She also launched her first solo book, Night Shift, as in Knight, in 2017. And we're actually together in a bestseller. That's a compilation called What's Self-Love Got to Do With It? That's how we know each other. Suzanne also has contributed content for 3 anthology compilations, and she's also published articles as a guest blogger for multiple digital magazines, websites, especially for travel and tourism. I'm just so excited to have Suzanne because this is a very unique niche that she has, and I don't have any other guests that specialize in this beautiful, unique niche. So Suzanne's professional background is made of both traditional and freelance sectors, along with a master's in social work and international and community development. She continually volunteers in her community and virtually supports businesses. And she currently serves as an editor, ghostwriter, and proofreader. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here today.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you to be here today. You're such a powerhouse. And so cool how we met, and you and I have stayed in touch on social media, and it's been really cool to see you expand.
Oh, it's amazing.
Can feel it from you. And so I know you've been on quite a journey, and I'd love for you to share how you got to be who you are today and be doing what you do.
It is a very, very circuitous journey, and being the inner tour guide, and I had many detours in my life, and it's amazing because even with the detours, it did lead to where I am today. And my writing journey, it actually started when I was little, and I had childhood asthma, and I had to spend a lot of time in the hospital. And in order to entertain myself, I had a lot of alone time, and I just started writing. And I wrote little stories here and there, and then as I got a little older, it just became very therapeutic for me when I was going through some very challenging situations, and I just would find a safe place, and I would just start writing and writing and writing, and I loved it. And then, going further into, like my high school years, college, I just loved everything about writing. And I had a dream about writing a book, because, I'm also avid book reader, and Judy Blume was one of my favorite authors. I just loved her style and how she related to real life situations going on. And so what had happened was that prior to 2016, I was besieged with a ton of health issues, and I was actually homebound for a while, and my writing just came back again. I had put it on the back burner, and then on Facebook, I came across a woman who was looking for contributing authors to a compilation she was putting through, and it had to do with a mental health topic. And I thought, you know what, let me ask about it. And that did happen. I got published with her book and with her anthology, and it just was absolutely amazing. It awoke this fire within me. And then that led to meeting Heather Andrews, who then was my publisher for Night Shift. And that's the first of a series that has to do with my main character. It's based on a lot of my own personal story, but it's fiction. And it's about a woman who is basically rebuilding her life after a life-changing event. And she gets a new career in hospitality, which is what happened with me, and it changed her life. And I've been an avid traveler since I was a kid, and I just love travel, tourism, hospitality. And with my journey of writing and where it led me, and then when COVID hit and the pandemic hit, and it just really impacted the industries, especially hospitality and tourism, every single day when we were shut down around March 10th in my area, I shared every single day about businesses that were out there trying to help, trying to get their feet back on the ground. And I was promoting them and helping them out as much as I could in the social media. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could do something deeper with this. And people have also relied on me to let them know about places to go and restaurants to eat at and attractions and events. So I have this reputation in my community about if I recommend something, okay, she's the go-to person. So I thought, okay, how can I put this all together? And then one day it's like high-rise tourism just came in to my mind, because high-rises to me signify that you're wanting to reach these high levels, but you also have to start with a foundation. You have to have the tools, you have to have the supports, but we're always moving forward and trying to construct these personal high-rises. And I felt with the travel and tourism industry too, with them taking such a hit, I know like they wanted, I'm thinking, okay, let's construct these high-rises. And so what had happened was last October, I did launch a business website, and I did add some blogs to it. But with everything that was going on, I had some personal things going on in my life too. I did put it on hold, but now it's just the right time. Like so much has aligned in my life with this happening, and I'm just so excited about it. And it's just like so much has just led to this. And I mean, but it was all these detours. It was just all these like different detours that led to this. And I'm so excited.
That's so powerful. And I do love your company name. It really speaks to that importance of the foundations in order to elevate. So that's so powerful. And I'm really curious, how do you bring in your background in social work into how you support your clients?
So what I'm doing is I worked as a social work case manager quite a few years ago. And one of the tasks that we had to do was we did needs assessments with our children and families. And then we also used a philosophy that it was strengths-based. And what we did was when we met with our families, we looked at their strengths. We looked at that first. And then as we went into that, then we started delving into the areas that needed help and, that were having the challenges. And I see that as such an integral part of, any, not just hospitality tourism, but any industry. And even like, if you think about it, like I remember when they did performance reviews, and if you start out, if the person giving the review starts out with negatives, like you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, you're doing this wrong, by the time they get to the positive, you're already deflated. And it's like you're not even hearing the positives. And it's the same thing with the business. I mean, even with reviews, if they start out like, well, this was wrong, and that had a problem, but they had maybe like a good food or good service, but you're focused on all those negatives beforehand. So my business, what I'm doing is I'm a promotion and communication specialist with my business, also do consulting. And what I do is I will talk with a potential, business client, and I will ask them questions, like doing a needs assessment. I will ask them questions like what their goals are. I will talk to them about strengths, or I will physically go to a place and look. And even like when I do my own blogs and reviews about places, I always talk about the strengths, because to me, especially with nowadays, like there's just not enough positive stuff being said, and we need to keep putting that out in the universe. Like, look at.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just so much out there. And when I go to, like, personally, when I go to a restaurant or or a hotel, I don't just look at like the basics. I don't look at just the service and the food. Like I take it all in. Like I look at that story. Like I look at what the building looks like, and I look at, maybe like I'm thinking of a restaurant in Lake George, New York, where I go to. It has this big bear statue, and it's like some people might walk by it, not even notice it. But to me, that's part of the story. You're in the middle of the mountains, and that bear's part of the story. And then there's another restaurant that has Tiffany lamps. And so I look for all these details and telling the stories of, how, like what these places are about. And so my business is focused on helping to use the power of social media, particularly the Facebook, to write content that is story-based. It's not just posting about maybe what their products or what their services or meals are. It's going in there telling that story about what they're about. And I mean, there's no limit to how creative they can be. And it may seem like, well, maybe the businesses could do it, but truly with everything that's happened this past year and a half, I mean, I know, but even in my area, like places are literally scrounging, trying to survive with staffing shortages and everything. So social media may not be a priority, and that's where I would come in, and I would be able to help guide and with the customer service, especially, like just looking for those creative ways of how you can tell the story, and thinking about sharing those stories of how they remained on their feet during one of the worst disasters that ever happened for us. And I mean, so many of them have these stories to share. I think about like a book. I mean, when we see a book, the cover is what draws us to it. I mean, if you see a book without a cover, the content is still there, but the cover, it takes away from something. And that's like with the social media part of it. Like, I know when I check out a new place, I go to the Facebook first before the website, because I look for those creative pieces. And if there's not enough content, or sometimes there might be a post that was from July, and then the next one is November, it's a gap. And then if I know the place personally, it may not affect me as much, but for somebody who's new, they might be like, okay, what's going on? Why haven't they posted? What else aren't they doing? So it's so important to have that be consistent.
Absolutely. I so agree with you, and I love that you're doing that. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue jamming about customer service.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. Om Times Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. Om Times Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single Om Times endeavor. Host your show with Om Times Radio Network.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalind Fung of the show Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Welcome back, loves. Okay, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. And Suzanne, I think it would be really cool to start with what you see are the foundations. What are those pillars with regards to helping people elevate their customer service and their business?
Well, definitely the first thing I focus on is acknowledging each customer, and not just with a brick and mortar, but like even online, and that is a special challenge in itself, because like if we're doing email or if we're responding to a review, it's amazing, but you can feel that energy through a written post. And it's so important to have that foundation of when you're either seeing a customer in person or you're responding to one through a written communication, is to acknowledge that customer immediately, welcome them. And, I know it sounds very basic, but it's just amazing. I've been in places at times where I walk in a store and nobody says anything. And the store could look wonderful, but if you're not acknowledged, even if somebody just says like, oh, hi, welcome, I'm here if you need me, it goes a long way. And the same with when you have an online business, if somebody is taking that time to reach out to you, you can write down like, thank you so much. I'm so happy to meet you, to correspond with you, instead of just getting into, thank you for reaching out and then just going immediately into what the request was. But making it personal, bringing that personal touch is just such an amazing approach to any kind of customer service. I mean, there's no cookie cutter approach to it. Like when I did the social work, I mean, anytime I met with a family, I mean, I would go in their home and I would acknowledge like their decor or find something that I could engage them with personally, so they would feel that I was on their level and wanted to really serve them. So that definitely is a foundation tip. And also too, really hearing and listening to what they're saying. And sometimes because of this rushed world and culture at times, that like somebody could be talking and then I've heard this at times like, oh, yeah, or get to the point, and that just shuts people down immediately. When somebody is in your place of business or online, like give them that space to talk about what it is, ask more questions. I mean, have that eye contact and really listen to what they're saying, because sometimes, and it happens. I mean, we'll think we're hearing something, but we're not giving them the space and the proper time to really get what their concerns are. And we'll think these things in our heads like, oh, well, maybe they're thinking this or that, and ask questions. I mean, like so many times when I worked in my hospitality industry, if somebody was calling to ask about a particular room they wanted to stay in, I would say like, well, do you want it by the ocean? Do you want more privacy? Do you want this? Like, I want to make sure that I'm getting the clarity, because lack of clarity, especially in customer service, it's going to be detrimental to the business. And especially in, like I'm thinking about with a restaurant. I mean, when a server is taking the order, and if people get their food served wrong, it's an issue. You know? So you really want to make sure, like, you want to ask questions. Okay, you want your meat cooked this way, or you want this prepared, and it's just taking that time, and that's something that I'm seeing as an issue. It's like people want to rush and get things done, and it's like it's so important to really hear what the customer is saying, because it really saves time in the long run, because maybe the request is getting done fast, but then if there's backlash and there's issues, then it's going to take even more time to fix what happened.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Like, let's get the shortcuts, please. check.
I know. And it's just like, it's so important, just like that making the customer feel special, making them feel like that they're the only one in the room, and or in the, in the business and everything, because it's just hard with so much technology out there, and people sometimes do feel robotic or like a number. And I mean, especially in the hospitality and tourism industries, I mean, that's where people want to really feel like they're special and being catered to and everything. We all want to feel that way. We all want to feel like, hey, like this is special. And there's so many different ways to do that. And just acknowledging them, complimenting them on something they're wearing, asking something about, oh, where did you come from? It just goes such a long way.
It really does. Like, even I have business coaches that send me gifts, and I'm the kind of coach that also does that with my clients on their birthdays, and, just little tokens of appreciation. My marketing team, Joanne of Empathy, her love language is also gifts. So she's just so amazing. So that's incredible customer service. It makes people feel special.
Yes. And
that's really important.
And that's how I always want my, guests, customers, clients to feel. I mean, when I worked in the, in the hospitality industry, especially, I mean, any guests that came through, and if they were looking to, reserve a room, or they called, or when they came in just to look at the place, I mean, I gave them the attention that they were looking for. I would take them all over and show them. I would and again, that story, telling them, like, okay, the place was near the ocean. So I would show them where they could have coffee and breakfast on the deck overlooking the ocean. I would tell them about the local attractions nearby. I would just give them not just the basics, but I gave them like the whole story of, if you stay here, you're going to have like this whole experience here. Like, it wasn't just getting them in. It was like, you're having this experience. So, and that ties back to what I'm doing with my business. It's not just about the business itself. It's about what their mission is, what their story is, and how it continues. And I mean, I believe buildings have souls, and I mean, because they're filled with memories of everybody that has been through there. And I mean, it's just, there's so much light and love in a business, especially in hospitality and tourism, because, people want to get together and eat and talk and travel and have experiences. And that's just what's so important.
That's really, really cool. What you do is bring businesses to life through stories, so that you're helping people imagine what's possible for them. Yes. And so I just want to because people talk about stories, but it feels more like this is different, because a lot of times people talk about the brand story based on the company. And what I'm hearing is, you may touch a bit on that, but what you're really doing is looking at like the focusing more on the experience this company can bring for their customers and clients.
Exactly. I go above what the basics would be. Like, think about a restaurant. Like, it's not just about the food or the meals or what it is. It's just like thinking about if it's family owned. Like, you're thinking about experiences with the family. Like, what are they doing what's their story behind it, and like what are things about, how did they get into what they did, and just like, why did they choose that particular area to put their restaurant, or I mean, just really delving into and like what they do, not just with like serving the food, so to say, but like other things that they can do. And that comes into my consultation too, like about with, do they offer events? Do they offer like a karaoke night or a book signing? And like, these are all things that they can provide, have that experience, have them be involved in a story when they go. And it's just something out there that it just, again, makes people feel that they're special, that it's unique. It's something that's happening for them. It's not just going in and eating a meal. It's more than that.
I love that. And it's really clear that you personally are very, very passionate about traveling. How is it that you specifically decided to specialize in tourism and hospitality?
Well, I was introduced to traveling at a very young age, and my grandmother, my mother's mother especially, she loved to travel. My mom was a flight attendant for TWA, and so she was really into traveling. So it really was in my blood, and we started going as a family to Lake George, New York when I was 6 years old, fell in love with it, and my family, really, like, we didn't have a big budget growing up, but I mean, my parents always made sure that we had fun things to do. And I mean, we went to plays, we went to, zoos, we went to New York City. I mean, we went to so many different places, and I just loved it. And it breaks my heart when I hear people say like they never went to a Broadway play or they never went to a zoo or something. And I had all those experiences. So that's something too that's a passion for me, is to let people know what's out there and also help the businesses. Like, I remember talking to some places that some events and attractions that I had gone to, and like a little museum that maybe specialized in a particular type of artwork. And I would talk to them, and they're like, I just wish that we were known more. And they didn't have the budget for like a huge marketing campaign or something, but they just wish that there was a way that they could get their story out there. So that's in my heart, to really also look for those, the businesses that they want to get their story out there. They just don't know how, or maybe you don't have the huge budget for it. But it's just like, I love going out and meeting new people. I love going to different places and traveling and just experiencing what it's like out in other areas. And it is a passion of mine. I mean, I just think everybody needs to experience all of this and, live life to the fullest.
I love it. I can hear your passion, can feel it. So then how do we transfer this? So those of us tuning in, where do we even start? I'm wondering if you can give some tips about ways in how our audience members can start to because it doesn't need to be just in tourism. I know you work with other solopreneurs as well. With regards to helping them with promotion and content writing, editing. And so where can somebody start to tune into breathing more life into their business through story, through experience?
It would be wonderful to have a team meeting or a staff meeting and get ideas from everybody. Like, maybe there's somebody or a few people at a business that might have some ideas, but maybe didn't feel like they could share them. So it would be really helpful for business owners and this is where this foundation and supports come in, because as a team, you want to have those support beams and walls, so to say, to build your high rise, within the industries. So it would be good to have brainstorming sessions with all of your team members and just find out what maybe some ideas that they would bring, and look at what else could they look at to do with, depending on what type of business it is. Could they have some special events to add? Like maybe, like I mentioned about a book signing, or maybe having an open house. I love open houses. I think they're great to just have like people come in at a special time, and they could have team members that talk about like what they do and share their passion about it. And also just randomly asking customers. I know some restaurants I've been at, the management will actually come to the table and they'll ask us questions. They'll say, hope you're enjoying your time. Where are you from? And have you been here before? And that's an important thing too. Asking a customer if they've been there before. And that just leads into a whole other way of being able to get customer service, because if somebody's new, like that's you're in there, you're like, oh, well, let me share this. And even people who've been regular customers, it's still good to touch base with them, because again, there might be even ideas from a long-term customer, like, oh, maybe you might want to think about maybe adding this. So it's really just like asking questions, getting to know people, and willing to take the risk of even saying like, oh, maybe I could try this, or maybe this is something I could add. It's just really looking constantly for those ways, and not in a competitive stance, but more like I'm looking to evolve and upgrade my business because I want it to be the best for my customers or, my team. And it really takes that pressure off, because, I come from a mindset of like, there's more than enough for everyone. And it's just like, there's more than enough for everyone. And it just all has that positive energy that just really goes out there. And it's just making the world a better place in your own corner of the earth.
Oh my gosh, I love all of that. Those are some really helpful ideas for us to really, even myself, just to really like feel into and go, where can I improve? So that's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back, my loves. Think about those points as well.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. Om Times Radio. IOM FM.
Om Times Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. Om Times, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on Om Times Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
All right. Welcome back, loves. So, Suzanne, you've been sharing so many incredible bits and pieces about the power of bringing your business to life through story and really creating the experiences through story for people to imagine themselves in. And so I'm wondering if we can have you actually walk us through the process of when a client comes in, starting from, like that consult, what's the process you actually take them through? What is it that you do exactly for them and support them to get them from consult to creating the experiences that they desire to attract their customers?
So I would have that initial discovery consultation call with clients, and I really like the first one would be really talking to them about their business and just getting that true clarity of what their business is about, what their goals are, like what is it that, and asking them like what they feel that their biggest strengths are, and because I always start with the strengths, and then what areas they feel would need some improvement or tweaking. So that whole first phone call would definitely, or initial call would be just really getting that clarity and really just analyzing like all the strengths, because sometimes like we don't always see the strengths about what we're doing. And it's just, like I want the clients to feel empowered, because then that will carry over and they'll be able to empower those around them and their customers. So I would walk them through that, and then we would work together. And I do offer different packages, but I'm also very flexible and open to whatever, what the needs are. And then I keep in constant contact. Like I wouldn't be like where I give them some insight and then be like, oh, I'm not going to talk with you again. I mean, I want the relationship. It's about a relationship. And I would keep that contact. And then if they would decide that they would want me to help them with their social media, like I could do a blog post for them. I could do weekly content posts. I could do a Facebook Live, but it would be based on their input, like their story. Like I think about it like with the editing. I mean, when I'm an editor, I'm not looking to change the voice of what the chapter is about or what the book is about. I'm just there to help, as I put the dressing on the salad. I mean, it's like the content is there. It just needs that little, tweaking, or, maybe something would have to be, taken out or something expanded on. But I just, look at it that I'm just the, like I said, I'm just the one putting the dressing on the salad. But, it's just, and that's like with the, what I do with the posting and what I'm going to be doing with the consultation. Like I'm looking to help bring out the total best that they have to offer. It's all about them. It's all about what they do. And I'm just there to be like the conduit and to give that love and light and positive energy to what they're doing and to help empower. So it would be a constant evolving and empowering process throughout, because, it's not just about, getting somebody to come in. It's that relationship. And I have built many relationships in those industries, and it's just wonderful how you see these businesses evolve. And it's just so exciting to me.
Oh, that's so amazing. And can I just say, this process is very powerful, because a lot of solopreneurs and even businesses, like when you're in it, it's hard to see the trees from the forest, right?
Yeah.
And so to have an outsider come in and ask you questions to pull out the stories is such a fun and empowering process. And it helps you ignite your passion to that next level in your business, about your business. Like, holy moly, that's my business. This is the experiences that we create. And it's so cool to see that in story form and in words that really, again, bring everything to life. So I just want to acknowledge you, Suzanne, for the incredible work that you're doing for these beautiful businesses.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's such a passion of mine, and I just can't wait to, see where it goes and who I'm going to be helping. And, it's just, there's so many wonderful, amazing places out there, and I just want to help bring them to life.
And love how your brain works, by the way. You're right. Not everybody just walks by a statue, stops, admires it, and asks, like, what is the story about this? How often are we asleep? We're asleep. We're walking by, not even noticing much. And probably not the audience that's tuning in now, but I'm saying in general, people in the collective are unfortunately asleep, and they don't take in true appreciation of history, of culture, of what really this, for example, what I'm talking about, the statue is, right? Or this, what is this company about? What's it? Like, I also feel like because my strength is this curiosity about people. Mine is more about people, very passionate about people, more than, let's say like a building or a restaurant. Though now you've got me thinking, like this is really cool. Every restaurant or business more in the tourism hospitality also has a story. And I do appreciate it when I hear and listen to their brand story. An advertisement does really work when it comes to creating stories, experiences through stories. So it's like, yeah, okay, I want to stay in this hotel because of how they're laying it out. So I feel like that's really important work that you're doing, creating those ripple effects. Mm-hmm. So if people, before we go into meditation, how can people, because I know you offer consultations, how can people get connected with you?
So they can go on my website, which is www.highrisetourism, and that's all one word, highrisetourism.com. And there is a link to book a discovery call with me. It goes directly to my email, or you could email me directly at Suzanne, SUZANNE, at highrisetourism.com, so that, you can find me that way. And then also I have a Facebook page, Suzanne La Voie, which is devoted to a lot of my tourism and business and writing, so you can reach me that way as well.
Beautiful. And all of that will be in the show notes. So be sure to tune into that as well. All right, my loves. Thank you so much, Suzanne. What we're going to do now is to close this episode with a guided meditation in the honoring and energetic spirit of having you tune in to your business and feeling into the experiences that you create in your business for your customers, clients, for the world. How is it that people are seeing your business? And may this meditation allow you to have more downloads about new ways to open up in possibilities of ways to think about your business and experiences that you create and that you desire to create. So I'm going to invite you to get cozy, get comfy. You can sit up or lie down, whatever feels right for you.
Okay.
And so I'm going to invite you all to just breathe in. And then just a cleansing breath out. Breathing in again. And then cleansing breath out. One more breath in, belly, solar plex. heart, throat, third eye, crown, expanding beyond the crown into the cosmos, expanding your breath beyond your physical boundaries so that you feel your breath in the front and back of your heart space. And just breathing out. And just being here, regulating your breath. And allowing your observer self, your highest self, observe from top down, like a bird's eye view of your business. Your business is its own entity. It does have its own soul. Just observing it with curiosity. And tuning into your business and what it stands for. Why you started your business in the first place. Getting back to the heart of everything. And often our purpose comes from our pain turned into our purpose. So getting connected with your why. And as you get connected with the heartbeats of your business, notice the ripple effects it creates. Notice the experiences your business provides for your customers, for your clients. More importantly, feel into the energy of this. Feel into the energy of the ripple effects. Because people came in to work with you in whatever way, or your company in whatever way. Notice what transpired for them. New memories, new experiences, new knowledge. Transformational experiences. Depending on what your business is, it's going to be different for each and every one of you. If you have team, notice the team members and how they're so much part of breathing life into your business. How they support in bringing in powerful experiences. What are the stories you hear through them? And if you're noticing they're not very positive, that might be more awareness for you to explore the positive. What are the wins? Those become your epic experiences. And the other ones that aren't as positive become feedback. So that you can tweak, shift, rearrange, recalibrate. So it completely aligns with experiences, the feel, the energy that you deeply desire to to bring more into this world. So pick one of your favorite experiences that you have created for your clients or customers. Notice how that one lights you up. Ask a universe right now, more of this, please. Pour more experiences like this into my business, please. Morakia, Koratia, Morakia. Breathing in, Moratia, Kimorokoratia, Rakia, Rakina, Koratina, Rakia. Sira Korakia, Morokora, Kiana, Koratina, Rakia, Koratia. Calling in more aligned experiences. Morakora, Koratia, Morokora. Breathing in and anchoring in. Beautiful, staying with your experience. Thank you, my loves, for tuning in. And thank you, Suzanne, for sharing your powerful self and your gifts.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so special. It really was.
Thank you, love. Feel honored that you were here. Do connect with Suzanne